Hey, thank you for sticking around through the break. My name is Kevin Fear. I am the president and CEO of Mattress Express. If you're just joining us, or maybe you're joining us for the first time, this is a show about sleep. It's called Pillow Talk, and we talk about sleep. We're going to talk in this segment about your sleep window. I have an article here. For people that know me, I'm an information junkie. I love reading the news. I'm always on the internet reading different news sites and articles. And when I see one that pertains to sleep, I grab it and read it and perhaps talk about it like this one. One of the news sites I really like is the Daily Mail. And they had an article on there called "What is Your Sleep Window?" Expert shares 6 ways to identify when you should really be going to bed. They're saying that there's a certain time that everybody has to go to bed. Now, from my own personal experience, I think that you can change that. I've had times in my life when I go to bed, like during the summer, I typically go to bed later, or in the winter, I go to bed earlier. But I think it's getting your body conditioned to go to sleep at a certain time. But what this article says, the initial headlines: do you struggle to fall asleep, tossing and turning without ever really feel like you're heading off to the land of Nod? Experts have now revealed how identifying your sleep window could be the key to getting a good night's rest. Chloe Angus, well-being manager at Cavendish Care, told Female a sleep window describes the most optimal time period with which an individual should fall asleep. She explained, if you're able to fall asleep in your sleep window, you are much more likely to have a good sleep, but there are other impacting factors such as stress and alcohol, which will counter this. Now, it says here that you should get 8 hours sleep. We've talked about this many times. It's generally 7 to 9 hours for an adult. And what they say here is diet, mood, and use of electronic devices can all alter our alertness and energy levels. They say being aware of these factors should help you find your window easier. We suggest a good idea is to begin experimenting between 9:30 and 11:30 p.m. as most people's optimal sleep window falls within this time. Did you know that your body temperature has to drop 2 degrees before you can fall asleep? And people that say, I'm going to have a person on to talk about this in another segment, but do you know sleeping hot is tied more to humidity than temperature? It's really interesting. Yeah. We're going to talk about that more later, but there's so much to it. We get a lot of complaints of people that say I sleep hot, and we have cool mattress covers, and we have mattresses where the cover itself on the mattress has a cooling technology built into it. What it really is, the way it's been explained to me, is when you put a blanket on you, that's an insulator, and you get warmer. A cooling material is a conductor. You touch it, and it feels cold. It almost feels moist, and it's pulling the heat away from you. Okay, 1, use the standard 8-hour recommendation as a benchmark. These are the 6 tips for finding your sleep window, according to this person in this article. Whether you feel that you need the recommended 8-hour sleep or not, you should refer to this bench window and finding your own sleep window. When I was a kid in high school, I worked in a nursing home for a couple of years, which is a wonderful experience at that age. And I worked with a lovely older woman. She's one of those women that if you were ever in that situation, you would want her caring for you. I don't know if she's with us anymore. She was older at the time, and I was 16, and geez, what am I, 29 now? But she was a lovely woman, and she used to roll on 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. And I think some people are just built different, and they can do that. So when I talk about these things, I think it's more for the general. These are generalizations. And again, I've said this over and over. It may come as an incredible surprise to you, but I'm not a medical doctor. It says what her second tip is: prepare yourself for not falling asleep straight away. It is rare for us to fall asleep as soon as our heads hit the pillow, no matter our good intentions or getting an early night. If you're aiming to be asleep by 10 p.m., get into bed at 9. If it takes you a while to wind down, consider preparing your body and mind for sleep with a sleep-friendly routine during the early evening, and avoid anything which can impact your sleepiness. They explain that if you need to get up at 6 a.m., for example, then you should aim to be asleep by 10 p.m. and then adjust accordingly. By starting with your recommended 8 hours of sleep, you have a better chance of finding out what your optimum is and if you need more or less, you can survive on less. Yeah, I need about 8 hours myself, and I find that when I'm fully rested, I wake up. Sometimes I wake up really early, and sometimes I can't wake up because I'm not fully rested. Their third tip is limit caffeine intake and cut out late night snacking. Caffeine and sugar are stimulants that give you energy and make it harder to switch off when you want your body to rest. Chloe explained that you should ideally avoid caffeinated drinks such as tea, coffee, energy drinks from midday, and finish eating completely at least 2 to 3 hours before you want to fall asleep. This gives your body a chance to digest food properly before bedtime and will allow enough time for the caffeine to be out of your system. I've found that caffeine affects people differently. I can drink a cup of coffee and go to bed. It doesn't seem to affect me that way, but I know other people that would be crawling up the walls. All right, their fourth tip, resist looking at electronic devices at night. Man, I am so bad about this. If my mother were on here, she would tell you, ever since I was a boy, I fell asleep in front of the TV. It's become a terrible habit in my life that it's probably, at 29 years old, tongue in cheek, it's probably too late for me to break this habit. But I have the TV on every night when I fall asleep. There's some instances when I can't fall asleep when I'll turn it off, but I usually fall asleep to the TV. Fortunately, I use Netflix and it goes off after about an hour anyway, which is optimal. If you do fall asleep to a TV, my recommendation would be use the sleep timer. Most TVs have a sleep timer where the TV will power off after. You can set it up for an hour, 2 hours. You really don't want that blaring in the background while you're sleeping. So they say resist looking at electronic devices late at night. It is well known that blue light emitted from phones and other electronics overstimulates the mind. However, it is also worth noting that the type of content you consume before bed can also have an effect on the sleep quality and your ability to fall asleep. Things such as work emails or text messages can make you more alert and make your mind race when you should be thinking about rest. Great advice. Don't look at something stressful before you go to sleep. Develop a nighttime routine to optimize your sleep window. Our minds and bodies enjoy routine, and this should be applied to your falling asleep. A healthy bedtime routine include things such as reading, listening to relaxing music, or performing a step-by-step skincare before you go to bed, helping you achieve that ideal window of sleep you need for your well-being. Makes sense to me. I don't know about this. Write a sleep diary for deadlines. Put mental distractions down on paper before bed by keeping a sleep diary of deadlines to help keep consistency. For example, having the last cup of coffee at 12 noon. Excuse me. Herbal and decaf beverages only after this time. Evening meal to finish at 7 p.m. Switch off phone, TV, and start bedtime routine at 9 p.m. I guess this would work for some people. It's not for me. With these distractions out of the way, you'll be able to discern when your body usually wants to fall asleep naturally, they explained. Good stuff. If you want to improve your life and the quality of your life, you should start with sleep, in my opinion. Get a good night's sleep, get rested, and you're going to have a better day. The next time you're ready to invest in a sleep system, all I ask is that you visit one of my stores, Mattress Express, see what we have to offer. We have the largest selection of flex head beds in New York State, where each head goes up and down independently, but it's one solid mattress. There's no gap down the middle. Couples find that very attractive. We have the number beds. We have several different number beds by Instant Comfort and Personal Comfort. We have the full line of purple beds. You can go to mattressexpressny.com. All of our locations are there. You can fill out our 15-second express credit app, get pre-approved before you come in. You can watch this show on our website, or you can email me at pillowtalkquestion@gmail.com. My name is Kevin Fear. This is Pillow Talk. We're going to go into a commercial. Stick around. We got some good stuff on the other side. Thanks for joining us today.